everyone, it's Nana, Foxy Mama 365. Be sure to subscribe and share and like. So we're right back again with the Real Housewives of Potomac, season 4, episode 16, and it's called Trouble in Paradise. So the ladies are back in Cayman Island, and we just head back into where we stopped off last week with Ashley telling Katie she's not strong enough to be with this group of women, you know. And indeed, Katie admits and says, yes, I might not be strong enough. You know, I'm fucked up right now, but it's also fucked up of you if because of that you're not going to be, you know, want to be my friend. Ooh, child. And then the ladies, you see Karen chiming in and saying no, she doesn't agree. You also hear Candace saying no, that's not right. You can be anywhere, you can do whatever you want to do, you know, support each other. Any which ways, you know, Katie now is becoming defensive and is like, well, I didn't really mean it like that. And Ashley's like, well, whatever. You keep on attacking me. She feels attacked, you know. And at this point, Giselle steps in and says, you know what, let's just drop it. Let's just leave it as it is, you know. And this is what happens. Giselle, you start the fire and now you have to find a way to be able to, you know, like, end it. Any which ways, ladies go to bed and they're talking about it. Candace feels bad. She's talking with Robin, and she's saying she really doesn't want to be that person, you know, that's attacking Katie. The other ladies are talking as well. We see Karen and Candace having a conversation in one of their rooms, and they're saying, and Candace says everybody has talked about this whole stuff, so she doesn't know why Ashley was in her feelings at attacking Katie, because everybody has said something about it, and that's what I've been saying, you know. And Karen's looking at me like, yeah, calling Ashley out on her bullshit and saying, Ashley, pretty much you're just trying to divert attention from you and put it on Katie or someone else. And I totally agree with that, because pretty much this whole season has been on Ashley and her husband, okay? Keeping it pushing. The next morning they're going to have breakfast, and we have the three ladies, Robin, Giselle with Ashley. This is where Ashley really wants to be up, these guys. Anyway, they're having a conversation, and Ashley talks to her mom first and says she's going to try and do better. So now they're having breakfast with the ladies, with the other ladies, and she's saying, and they're all talking, and they're now going to the conversation of Karen. I don't know why Giselle just can't let Karen live. Okay, so Giselle goes into Karen and what's going on with Karen. Giselle says, oh, Karen, you know, is meant to be doing this new show, and she's invited them to test her La Dame perfume, and she's wondering that, okay, what are they going to be testing? And she's thought about it, and she's thinking, oh, she gets what really is going on is that the Grand Dame really doesn't own the company. She's just the face, you know, on the product, and that's why she can't make decisions of her own. And it's okay, because the Grand Dame was saying, oh, she wants to, they're looking for distributors, and Giselle is thinking, why can't you do it yourself? The other ladies are always like, okay, we'll see. Well, you're only going to get a little rollerboard, and that's pretty much all you're going to do. And Giselle is like, well, she's just going to be there and support. Giselle, you're just so shady. That's why I'm like not liking you at all. You're so shady. Just shut up already. It's enough. Anyway, they're going on Sting. They're going to see the Stingrays this morning. Everybody's gathered downstairs. And Katie once again is looking a hot mess. It's just, I actually prefer this, her hair just, you know, being tied up in a little bun or whatever that was, to having that wig on. Any which ways, the ladies are a little like, okay, what are we doing? The Stingrays. Remember a few, like almost 10 years ago, if not more, maybe almost 15 years ago, there was a very popular guy, an Australian explorer. His name was Steve Auburn, and he got stung by the Stingrays. So I'm like, that won't be me. So Karen is like, okay, good thing I have my insurance up, okay. Anyway, they're on the boat and they're going to, the water is so beautiful. Cayman Islands is really, really gorgeous. Anyways, Karen is like, yeah, she's throwing her wig left and right, and like, yeah, that wig is tight. Katie is not up for it. She's not going to go into the water with them. Her tummy is giving her an upset tummy, and so she's like, I'm just going to go down and just stick it out. In any which ways, we see Ashley and Candace in the water, they're playing and, you know, like getting along. And of course, once again, Giselle noticed she always comes on time. All right. So then Katie, of course, has gone down to lie down, and she's like back to sleep. And I remember Katie made a comment on her Instagram, because apparently this season of Real House of Potomac has had its highest rating. And Katie was like, oh yeah, this is the Katie effect, and she's the one bringing the Katie magic. And I'm like, no. We actually tuned in this season, Katie, to watch Michael's whole story and what he was grappling, anyways, doing the squeaky with someone, with the cameraman. That's really why we tuned in, okay? Anyways, moving along, Ashley decides to go sit down with Katie and have a tete-a-tete and apologize, and which was kind of cool. She really did need to do that, you know. She didn't want, you know, to be the reason why Katie is not, you know, coming out and enjoying the trip, you know. And Katie has a lot of, apparently she's dealing with her children's custody with her husband, or her ex-husband, I think it was. Anyway, Karen is letting the ladies know they have a good time. And the stingrays, it won't be me. I definitely won't be holding it, but I can touch it a little. It just won't be me. I'll be like too scared to do that. But the ladies did good. And of course, once you see where Giselle is running because she got stung or she got hit by one of the rays, it was like literally very close to her. She's like, ah! And she literally steps on it. Oh, child. Anyway, they get back on. They go have lunch. The grand dame goes skiing. I think Robin goes skiing as well. They have fun. Jet skiing, that is. And then Karen extends an invitation to Katie to anytime, you know, if she's okay and how she's feeling, she should feel free to always, you know, hit her up if she wants to talk, which I thought was kind of nice. So, of course, at lunch, here we go again. Giselle comes right with the mess, like the train from Sweden that's always on time with her mess. She's like, oh, she's nice to actually see Ashley and Candace getting along. It's really, really cool. And of course, at this point, they're like, yeah, we're handling our stuff, you know. And then, of course, here comes Candace with her, oh, she expects an apology. She apologizes, or kind of, she's expecting an apology from Ashley. And Ashley's like, well, you were holding the butter knife in my face and that wasn't cool. And she's like, yeah, but you came into my house and you were being messy about my mom, and that was the very sense. So they're going back and forth as usual. And Robin is like, Giselle, why do you have to bring this mess all the time? Can't you just leave it be? You know, it's kind of funny. Anyway, she's like, well, ladies, you know what? Let's just, you know, call it a day and just end it here. You have an apology from you. You can get your apology, and let's just leave it as it is. And that's where they ended. So we see Monique and Chris, and that's kind of cool. Monique is saying to Chris, oh, apparently their sex life has been a little on the down because Monique is not feeling it at all. And Chris is like, you know what, I'm happy with just 3 kids. Let's call it a day after this. So cool, cute scene. Not here for it, but cool. So Katie and Robin and Ashley. Katie comes into the room to tell Robin she's not going to be going for dinner with them. She's still not feeling too good. I know it's kind of sad because she's in such a beautiful place, and I totally get it. It must be really rough, you know, not to have custody of your kids. It must be really rough. So of course they're talking about, and she's like, are you sure you're not, you know, maybe you should try and have something that will help you settle. And she's like, no, she's not going to be coming, but she's going to just, you know, stay in her room and just chill. Ashley comes out and she's like, oh, what's going on with you? Da, 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 da. She gets into it. But then you see Katie also being messy and asking Robin, because apparently Robin and Katie had a conversation in which Robin was in her feelings and talking about Giselle, you know, being messy at her event when she had the house opening, the grand opening of her new home with investors and buyers, and pretty much Giselle just at the front started attacking Monique and didn't care, you know. And she's like, oh, have you spoken to her about, are you guys in a good place? Casey's being messy as well, and now she's like, yeah, it'd be good, you need to, you know, have that if that's how you feel about it. So they're poking at that, and they're like, Katie, are you okay? Are you pregnant? Do you think you might be pregnant? And she's like, she didn't even think about that, but she says she's not using a condom. She also says she's not on any kind of birth control, and her period hasn't come yet, so it could be that. Who knows? We'll see. So we get into dinner, and the ladies on the bus ride, we see Karen actually calling Ashley out on her bullshit, and I liked that. She's like, girl, you went into a dark place when you told Katie that she, you know, wasn't strong enough to be with us. And I was like, yes, I'm happy that they actually called her out. I mean, I know she has apologized to Katie, but I see Ashley becoming a mean girl, just like Giselle and Robin, and I'm like, it's just not, well, anyway, Ashley's always been mean for a while, but this was really bad. You know, she's like, well, Katie shouldn't have come at her. She thought she and Katie were good friends, and at this point we see Candace rolling her eyes, and she's like, And she's like, why are you rolling your eyes? I saw your eyes move. And she's like, yeah, well, whatever. You know, she's like, well, she's just rolling her eyes, whatever. She does have the right to, right? Anyway, Candace is saying that, so she sees a pattern with Ashley not being a good friend, because when they were in New Orleans, when they were in NOLA, she was like, she remembers a comment by Ashley where she's like, oh, you just want to be circus friends. And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I just want to be circus friends. If you're going to be like this, talking about me trying to get pregnant and all of that, it wasn't your business. So she's like, Ashley's not really a good friend, even to her new friend Katie. So she's like, that's a pattern. Moving right along. They get into the diner. They have this really cute fishes. Not cute, but they're like jumping and it's like a cool scene. And I'm like, oh wow, that won't be me putting my hand in there to give the fish any stuff. But the fish are like really cool. So they get to sit down. And as they sit down, they're talking. You see Giselle and Karen are trying to have a moment. And they're like, yeah, they're in a good place now. They'll never be best friends for now. But at least they're going to be taking baby steps. Because apparently Giselle has done some shitty things to Karen. And Karen is like, you know what, I'm just going to go slow. But we're in a good place now. And then we see Giselle saying everybody has to own their shit. And she's like, okay. Speaking of which, Robin says, your shit, have you owned your shit? Which is, when you got to my event, right from the door, 2 seconds in, literally, you started attacking Monique. And that wasn't cool. You didn't even look around. You didn't even say hello or pat me in the back and all of that. So it was cool. It was Robin's little way of trying. I know if the other ladies didn't call her out to, to do it, she probably wouldn't have done it. So we see Giselle is like, oh, okay. Well, actually what Monique said was not really cool and all of that. And like, just own your shit. And she's like, well, you know what? If Robin is upset about this, I'm definitely woman enough to apologize. And she does apologize. And she's like, you know what? I'm so sorry. I'm really, really sorry. I shouldn't have done that at that event. I have to do better. Moving right along. The mess continues. Oh! And this is, of course, Giselle. It's so nice to see you and Ashley and Candice getting along. Maybe you guys should go to breakfast. And in the moment, I'm thinking, I'm sure you really trying to stir this up. Then they also talk about Robin. They're maybe she should try to have a baby and get married to one. And Robin's like, yeah, she would love to get married again to one. What we'll see. And apparently one has actually said he would be happy to propose to her, to get married again. Because they got married. They were married for, I think, 5 or 8 years. Then they got divorced after that whole money issue happened with them. The issue was where Robin gave some of their money, all the money that one had, got him from his basketball years, to a friend, and the friend lost all the money and eventually ended up committing suicide. So it was kind of sad. Now their food comes. Those shrimps looked amazing. Anyways, Ashley is asking Candice about her situation with her man and his cooking book and that's meant to be coming out. And she's like, yeah, it's coming along and all of that. And Ashley chimes in that, oh, do you have like a stake in it or whatever? And Candice is like, no. And Ashley's like, well, it's a business and so you should probably, And she's like, you mean write something down and put something down in writing? Like, nah. So Candice is like, no, I don't want interest. And I'm like, Ashley, shut the heck up. Because you have not been able to put anything down in writing. As a matter of fact, Michael kicked you out a few months ago. So I'm wondering why you have the audacity to be talking. Even your restaurant too has been shut out and you have few shares. So shut the heck up. Anyways, Candice is like, no, I'm not interested in it. It's his work and I don't want to, take any credit from that. So let him enjoy it, He's good. Now, breakfast. You see, Ashley and Candice, they're going to go yoga. They're having yoga together and Candice is like, oh, where's the cocktails? This yoga stuff is not for me. But it was kind of cool. And they get to talking. And Candice is saying that the comment Ashley made about being circus friends really hurt her. I think they're just groping at this point for stuff to say. She's like, she was really hurt, but whatever it is, let them push ahead. It was kind of funny because I'm like, because in her confessional, she goes, oh, she sees that Ashley is just more of a surface friend. So I'm guessing, are they going to be friends or are they just going to go with the circus friendship? I don't care. Anyways, out comes Giselle to let the ladies know that Katie is gone. Miss Katie is nowhere to be seen, okay? She said she opened her door was open, her stuff was gone, but she hasn't checked out. So we're like, okay. And Bravo people are not like telling us, oh, this is probably what's going to happen next week. They're not telling us what exactly happened, but we say, oh, they found her. So I'm like, where did she go? What is going on with Miss Katie? Anyways, we figure all of that out next week. So guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to share, be sure to like, be sure to comment and subscribe. See you soon. Bye.